Today, I want to talk about hidden value. There's a lot of times in the game when I'm playing where everybody is always comparing their stats. At the end of the game, they're looking at their damage or they're looking at how many final hits they have, and they're using that to compare as to how well each person did. But there are a lot of things that are not reflected on the scoreboard that lead to those final hits and lead to that damage. I'm going to use an example from one of my games here on Nico Robin where I was playing with some friends and show you how I helped my team get a kill while doing no damage to the enemy that died. And then I'm going to hop into one of my solo queue Celestial games where I played Psylocke, and I'm going to see all of the things that actually lead to each and every individual kill that I helped the team get. With all that being said, here we had just captured the point and my team was pushed up and trying to take space, and now I am going around on the right hand side to try and see if I can get an angle on the back line. As always, when I'm playing DPS, I'm trying to find an off angle. I'm trying to contest different space from what my team is contesting. You saw there how I flanked all the way around. I started attacking the people at the back, and when I started attacking the people at the back, Bucky went then to try and contest me. After having Luna, Invis, and Bucky's attention all turned on me, I immediately get out and get to safety and fall back with my team. But in that moment, Star-Lord died. And I want to show you what it was from the enemy's perspective and how that came to happen. Here we see Star-Lord trying to take an angle. We see him walking up, and you see him start to take damage, and he's not getting healed. But then why isn't he getting healed? And now we'll go take a look from the support's POV. And there you see it perfectly. I did 0 damage to Star-Lord, but because of the fact that both his supports and Bucky were turned distracted by me trying to get a pick on me, they weren't paying attention to the fact that he was taking damage. This is the reason why I'm always telling people that playing to live is so very important, because of the fact that you can provide a lot of value just by being alive and by being a distraction. I got 0 kill participation for that Star-Lord dying, but because of the fact that I had distracted 3 people at the exact same time that my team was attacking him, that's the reason why he died so quickly. This is another one of the reasons as to why I'm so avidly against performance-based SR, because there's no way for any computer to be able to figure out that that was a smart play. But regardless, even though peeling and pulling attention and resources isn't rewarded by performance-based SR, I'm playing to win instead of just playing for stats. Now I'm going to go to that Celestial game, and I'm going to take a look and see what contributed to each and every one of the kills that happened in front of me. We had a bit of a rough start, but I'm still going to show you everything start to finish and explain my thought process along the way.
The enemy has arrived.
After seeing both Hela and Luna fall, I was playing very slow and very cautious to just try and see if I could buy some time until they got back, and seeing that I could get a pick on the Ultron there, I decided to go for it, because then it would mean that my teammates would come back a little bit quicker than he could. But I didn't see that I was in the LOS of the Phoenix when I landed, and that's the reason why I ended up dying.
Anyone willing to help? My light cannot be snuffed. You're mine!
I like the cold. I'm hurt. Shields up!
What a difference. You're mine!
Here in this moment, I was able to secure a pick on the rocket after my team was able to ult to engage, and although it looks like I did the work in securing that kill, the reason why I was able to secure the kill on rocket is because he couldn't take time to defend himself, because my team was applying so much pressure onto his team that he was forced to focus on healing rather than defending himself. This is the reason why I know that people love to brag about final hits, but there's so much more going on that made it easy for you to secure those finals that you're ignoring a lot of the times. If my team wasn't there applying pressure, I don't get that pick as easily. And there you saw Ultron focus his sights on me to try and poke damage at me, and because of it, Hela was able to get an angle on the Ultron and secure a pick on him. I didn't shoot the Ultron a single time, but because of the fact that I was there pulling his attention, it meant that Hela could take an angle and secure the kill on him much easier. This is a lot of the time what you're trying to do in these games. You're trying to attack someone where they don't see that attack coming, because it's so much easier to secure a pick that way than it is to take a head-on fight with someone. Seeing as I pulled the attention of both the Hela and the enemy Luna, I decided to play it safe and use the pillar as cover, and because of that, I turn around and I see that because my supports had pulled the attention of the mag, I was able to shoot the mag in the back really easily and help secure the kill on him too. And even though I helped secure the kill, it was a team effort that was needed in order to secure all of these picks. Had my teammates not been alive, that mag might have turned on me and started attacking me from behind cover and killed me instead. Because my supports prioritized staying alive and pulling attention, it made the fight a lot easier. Because all of us are alive, I go to take an angle on the Hela, it forces her to ult, we can all burn her out of the air but much faster because of the fact that we're alive, and as I go to shoot at the Hela after she comes out of her ult form, Luna's there to follow up on the attack as well, and we have her pincer, which means that now we can secure the kill. And once again, even though Luna got the final hit, it's a team effort. During that team fight, I was able to help secure a lot of kills because of the fact that my team was there tanking a lot of damage. Groot was there to pull out the enemy Luna ult. My team was absorbing the damage from the Ultron ult while I fled to safety. And pretty much every kill that I helped get was because of the fact that they were facing and attacking my teammates and not looking at me. Yes, I helped secure the finals, but that's my job as a DPS, and there's really no point in bragging about final hits. It took an entire team in order for us to secure this point. It wasn't just on the kills that I got alone.
You need to stop that vehicle in its tracks.
I push up to take space so that way the convoy can push up as much as possible. I go to play a bit more offensively, and I didn't notice that Hela popped out on the right-hand side, and because I landed in the LOS of her, that's the reason why I died. I should have known that they were coming out of that right side, and I should have positioned correctly. Standing out in the open is what got me killed.
Farewell.
Disappear! Shields up! Turn around.
By the eye of Agamotto!
That one hurts.
The enemy has arrived.
I went to attack the backline to help distract them, and then I immediately get myself out of a bad situation. And to be honest, the reason I lived is kind of just luck. But after that, because my team helped secure a pick, then I went to try and use my mobility to help take angles and help secure the pick on the Phoenix as well. Even though I'm not really communicating a whole lot with my team about the exact things that we're supposed to do, I'm seeing what actions they're taking, and then I'm going to position myself around what they're doing. As they pull attention one way, that means that I can take a separate angle in which the enemy's not looking at and attack from that direction. This makes attacking your enemies a lot more efficient.
Cosmic flame! Better stop that vehicle!
Sayonara.
I went to attack and distract the enemy support so that way they'd be forced to heal each other, and that way they would be able to help their front line on their team. But unfortunately, Psylocke ulted my backline, so then it's just time to get out and wait for my team to come back, and we'll try a push again when we're fully regrouped.
You stop them in their tracks!
This will do nicely.
Turning up the heat! That one hurts.
At first, I was just waiting patiently for my team to fully regroup and walk in. I didn't know that they were getting pressured so much at the front door that they weren't able to walk in, so I re-maneuvered myself to the front to try and apply pressure. Once I saw the Groot ult, I knew I immediately had to follow up on it, so I threw out my ult as well, and luckily we got the enemy to double support ult. Although at the same time, if they didn't double support ult, that would have been really bad, because then we would have used a Groot ult and a Psylocke ult for one single support ult. And as much as people give support for double support ulting, there's a lot of DPS and tank ultimates that go to waste sometimes because we're not using them efficiently. It worked out for us in this moment, but it could have very easily been a waste of my ult. Just like on the first point, because of the mag is looking at my supports, he's not looking at me, it makes it easy for me to attack him and secure the final. I chase down the Phoenix because I see that she's low, I use my mobility to get around to a different angle, and I attack her and I secure the kill. Once again, another final for me, but when I saw her, she wasn't full health and she was already using her resources to run away, so it made it really easy for me to do my job.
Your attacks are futile.
Clear the way! Don't give them another inch! Or else!
Out of sight.
Hell unleashed! For mutant kind!
I want DPS players especially to realize that in this moment I was low on health, but I used my resources and my movement to get myself out of there. And then once I did and I got myself to safety, I put myself behind cover and I told my supports that I needed healing. And once they were done healing my tanks and getting them to a good spot, then they could turn to heal me. It is not the support's job to constantly pump you full of healing. You need at some point to get to a safe spot so that way you can stabilize with your team and allow them the time to heal you properly. If you die because you're taking too much damage nonstop, stop, that is on you. That means you misplayed. So if you want heals, get to cover, get to safety, and then ping your supports for help. Right there, I heard my Groot ult, but I also saw Psylocke go towards my backline, and I was immediately going to deny her the opportunity of making any plays. And just by letting her know that I saw where she was and I was doing damage to her, I forced her to retreat and try and get to someplace safe, which meant that she couldn't stand on the point. This is value that cannot be reflected on the scoreboard. Groot ulting them off of the point and me pushing Psylocke away are both high value plays that cannot be reflected on the scoreboard. It's the reason why I don't look at stats or compare the stats at the end of the game, because without the context, it's basically meaningless. So here as we start the next round with me on defense, I'm doing my usual thing of watching the left-hand side to make sure that no one flanks. You can see here on defense, I'm not flanking the enemy backline. I'm not trying to make any big play. I'm not trying to attack. I'm just trying to apply pressure to keep them from trying to make a play. On offense, all you need is one kill to help you secure the objective. And on defense, all it takes is one death on your team in order for them to secure the point. So I'm playing safe and I'm applying pressure, but the moment I get pressure put on me that's too great and too risky, I immediately get out of there and retreat back to my team. Whenever I am in control of the objective, I'm going to play a lot safer than if I wasn't. Knowing that Psylocke was coming back from the spawn, I immediately turned my attention to her to try and apply pressure to her to slow her progression towards the point, and I had a plan to dash back out.
Us against the world! Shields up!
Unfortunately, the Groot wall got me stuck and I ended up dying. This is one of those unfortunate things you can't really plan for or predict, and it was just an accident, so it's not a big deal. Luckily, my team has cleaned up, making it easy for me to come back and reposition. You can see here that as the enemy team is pushing back up again, I'm keeping an eye on the left side to make sure that no one comes from this direction to help my team out. I'm trying to think ahead of what the enemy team is going to do. I already know that they tried going main, so it's possible that they might try to take this path. And I'm going to trust that my team is looking down main and keeping an eye on the right-hand side, and I'll keep an eye out on the left-hand side.
That one hurts.
You're mine. Farewell.
I am ready to put on a show! Grand finale!
Healing magic.
You see me applying pressure, you see me help secure a kill, but I secure the kill because of the fact that Angela ulted them and they're all paying attention to my team. Because of the fact that my team is playing to live and they're playing really smart using their cover, it gives me a lot of time to sit there and wait for the right opportunity to attack. I get to play super safe and have all this time to reposition because of the fact that my tanks and supports are doing such a great job at staying alive and pulling attention, which makes it easy for me as the DPS to do my job, which is secure those final hits. Magneto dies here because of the fact that Angela pushes him in and because of the fact that all of us can take an angle on him and make it easy to apply pressure and apply damage so efficiently. Almost every single kill is a team effort. It's very rare that it's a 1v1. True 1v1 battles are actually much more rare than people think. Almost every single kill you'll ever get will almost always be assisted by the help of your team in some way, even if you might not know it right away.
Step aside. Out of sight.
The enemy Psylocke ulted into my team and used her resources to get in. Because of the fact that I could take advantage of that ultimate, I got to wait for Psylocke to exit her ult to try and use her abilities to get away, but I know how Psylocke works and I know exactly the route she's going to take, and it made it very easy to get the cleanup kill on her. Another final for me, but only because of the fact that she didn't have an ultimate and she didn't have any resources, making it much easier for me to secure that kill.
At last our enemies show themselves.
Be strong together.
Out of sight. Turning up the
Down to 30 seconds.
There you saw me get to wait super patiently as my teammates pulled all of the attention, all the damage, and all the resources. And because of the fact that they had already forced the enemy support ult in the previous fight, it meant that my ult was much easier to get clean up. So even though it looks like I'm the reason why we might have won that fight by having a good ultimate, there are many dominoes that were put in place that led to my ultimate working out so well. This is always why I'm stressing the importance of being alive, because as long as you are alive and if you are pulling attention and resources for me, for my job as a DPS, it gets much easier. As long as you are pulling attention and resources from the enemy team, you make it much easier on someone else to try and secure those kills. Nothing you do in Marvel Rivals is in a vacuum. It's all connected and everything you do will have impact on the game later. And winning is not just about who shoots better in this game. It's how you plan ahead and how you work around your team that will ultimately lead you to victory. No matter how good of a player you are, you need your teammates' help in order to secure these kills and secure these objectives. Because even in the games where you pop off, you didn't do that without help. A good DPS can't work without space and heals. A good tank can't do their job without a good DPS and strong support backline. And good supports can't survive without the help of tank creating space and DPS helping defend them. And it makes it much easier when we accept the fact that we all need each other's help and we work together to figure out a solution in order to find a way to win. Because a lot of the times what ends up leading to losses is because of the fact that people refuse to put their egos aside and actually figure out what it takes to win. Because sometimes it's as simple as just playing a little less selfishly. Phoenix had a really amazing last touch here, and honestly, I think because of the fact that we just kind of assumed that it was over, that we weren't really fully prepared for it. My aim suddenly gets even worse than it already is, and I completely can't help secure the kill on her, and because she was able to stall for so long, they end up securing the point, which was a good play by them.
What a difference.
I am ready to put on a show.
Leave them to Khonshu.
Once again, my positioning and my resources are what I use to keep myself alive, and I go back to my supports and I ask them for help. The easier you make it on your supports to heal you, the more you'll get healed. I probably should have retreated sooner. I didn't realize how much we had lost in that fight before going back in.
A nice deep breath.
And there, once again, I get a nice ult on the backline, but it's because of the fact that I waited for my team to pull a lot of attention and pull a lot of focus, which made it very easy for me to flank on Rocket where he doesn't suspect it. The only reason I'm able to get as many kills as I can in this game is because of the fact that my team is pulling attention and resources away from me. It's because of the fact that my teammates are pulling attention and resources off of me and onto them. And because of the fact that I can have Luna Snowflake almost the entire game, it helps me secure each and every one of these kills. Just because of the fact that I can stay in the fight longer. And there, as they were pulling attention and focus onto me and turned to try and attack me, my teammates came back and helped secure kills on them as well. We're not all trying to take duels and fight people head on. We're trying to coordinate our attacks by playing off of what our teammates' actions are. I don't need to see or be told everything that my team is doing, but I can tell that they are pulling attention and resources away, which means that it makes it really easy for me to go in. This is the reason why you want to try and be as active as possible during the time that your team is being engaged on, because those windows of opportunity to attack are very small. But if you time it right, it makes it so much easier to secure picks on the enemy. There, as Mr. Fantastic turns and tries to attack me and Hawkeye, it means that my group can easily secure the kill on him. Just because tanks are normally the ones to pull focus doesn't mean that weak DPS can't do it sometimes as well. Everybody in the game, no matter the role, can pull attention and focus and secure kills. Just because tanks do it better doesn't mean that we can't do it as well. And because of it, we help our tanks and supports get kills as well.
Let's keep fighting until we have a winner. It's the grand finale. See that? Right there.
By the eye of Agamotto.
I am ready to put on a show.
Unwelcome guests, Doctor.
Unfortunately, the enemy Strange has a really good ult and ends up securing the point for him. I remember in this game, the enemy team was kind of giving up early, but even when you watch it back, you realize that it was actually a very winnable game. But I think their teammates being negative is kind of what helped contribute to their loss.
Keep up the momentum.
That's better.
I suck.
Step aside.
Behind you.
In that moment, seeing my supports get attacked, and this time seeing them patty cake next to each other, I thought we were all going to jump inside of the ult in order to keep each other alive, and then Psylocke ended up moving and I ended up being the only one in the ult. And this is where sometimes, even though you have a plan, you think you're following up on what your teammates are doing, you might not be on the same page. But oh well, at least my supports are alive.
Don't let anything stand in your way.
Fate has intervened.
I like the cold.
Here's how you shoot.
Farewell.
Because of the fact that my teammates had secured kills and because of the fact that Hawkeye helped secure a kill just before that, it was forcing the supports to back up to try and regroup with their team. I didn't want to save my ult for the final fight because of the fact that I wanted to use it now, because of the fact that once I get staggers on them here, it's going to be very difficult for them to walk out of that spawn door and try and rush to the point without making a mistake. It now puts them in this really awkward position where they're going to have to rush, and when people rush, they make mistakes.
The final 10 seconds. Deep freeze.
There you see Psylocke die because she felt the need to rush to the point in order to touch, and then you saw her teammates start to fall right afterwards because of the fact that now they're rushing in and making mistakes because I forced them into a bad position with my previous ult.
Step aside. My blade seems sharp.
And right there, once again, I am able to secure the kill on Psylocke only because of the fact that she wasn't looking at me. Makes it really easy to try and secure the kill on her instead. And that's it for the win. At the end of the game, people are always quick to look at final hits, they're quick to look at damage or healing done, but really when you see it within the context of the game, what leads to all of these kills is a bunch of different factors. It's never just I secured final hits or I did damage. I was able to secure those finals and do that damage because of the fact that I had the help from my Luna and her Snowflake, or I had the help from my tanks pulling attention and resources off of me. And Groot ulting at the end on offense in order to keep the team from touching was huge in helping us secure the 3rd point. But this is all stuff that you can't see on the scoreboard, and this is the reason why I don't look at stats so much anymore. The only one I really look at is deaths. Some deaths are unavoidable and excusable, but for the most part, the lower the deaths you have, the more impact you have on the game because of the fact that you're alive. And there's far too many players out there that brag about their final hits and seem to ignore their deaths. They think that because of the fact that they get a lot of kills, it makes up for the fact that they died a lot of times, but that's usually not the case. The reason why I tend to win a lot more games is because I know that even when I'm alive, at the very least, I could be pulling attention, I could be pulling resources, or I could be charging an ult. There's also other factors that lead to kills that aren't shown on the scoreboard at all, such as, for instance, blocking heals as a tank is absolutely huge in helping your team secure kills, but there's no way to show that you had an impact there. It doesn't show under assists and it doesn't show under kills. There's no place on the scoreboard to put blocked heals. But a lot of times there's a lot of toxicity at the end of the game where they might look at a shield tank and say you didn't do that much damage and you weren't getting that many kills, but also at the same time, if they were blocking heals allowing you to get those kills, they were providing a lot of value there still. Or for instance, if you're playing Captain America and you're on a convoy map and you spend a lot of time pulling multiple people to the convoy to try and get them to push you off the convoy, you're not going to have a lot of damage, you're not going to have a lot of kills, but because of the fact that you're pulling attention, resources, and holding down the objective, that's huge value still. But once again, that's something that can't be shown on the scoreboard. There are a lot of different hidden factors that lead to a win in a game, and there's no way for the system to actually know what a good performance was because of that. This is why I really dislike people who focus on stats without understanding the context of what's happening in the game. Yes, you might be able to secure a lot of final hits in the game, but it might be because of the fact that you have a really good support backline, or it might be because of the fact that you have a really excellent tank pulling attention. Anyway, that's all I have for this video. I hope it was educational in helping you realize all of the different things that are happening in a game at once and what ultimately leads to a lot of these kills and what ultimately leads to you capturing the objectives. Hopefully it gives you something to think about in your games. Anyway, that's all I got. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments.